Stuck on me.
All right, it's become a tradition every year to close the Central Minnesota Peace Fair with a somber ceremony to remember the victims of the wars and to reflect upon the harm war does to people and societies. Larry Fisk has a drum, and he will be leading our ceremony to the lake. So those who would like to join the ceremony, please follow Larry as we release a wreath to remember victims of war.
Did you already have the open mic time?
Oh, yes. Yeah, do you need to say something?
I would like to say
Oh
something.
wait, before we do this, Robin Hensel would like to say something. Robin?
I started to share this with Gary because he's a professor and he studies human stuff. As a foster parent and a respite caregiver in Morrison County for 4 years, and 1 year with the Lutheran Social Service in St. Cloud, I realized that in my trainings about attachment disorder and fetal alcohol, I was told by the ARC group that trained us, that's a ARC, and I can't remember what it stands for, alcohol something from up in the Duluth area, that as a society we're about to experience, and this is back in 2011 or 12 I received this training, maybe it was even 10, that our society is going to be experiencing a mushroom cloud of children and young adults suffering from fetal alcohol syndrome and their effects. And then if you combine that with the devastating effects of attachment disorder, and it comes in all forms. Reactive attachment disorder is the worst, where children cannot bond to another human. They also can't bond to an animal, probably, because there was a break in the attachment from their primary caregiver. This is a huge problem that as a society we're not tackling at all. We don't have a high school to prison system in our country. We have a cradle to the prison system in our country, and it comes from a lack of interest because there's no money, real money, in helping kids. And it's devastating our nation. 80% of the prison population have been in the foster care system. Minnesota in 1995 ranked 4th in the nation for mothers that drank during pregnancy. We have an alcohol problem in this state, in our nation, and it's not getting the attention that we need to give it to. Ron Kresha, my representative, just got done making excuses as to why they didn't fund properly the adoption system. What they're trying to do is change the foster care system so that parents who are foster parents get the same money as an adoptive parent would get, a forever family. If you take the level playing, that's never been a level playing field. Foster parents are given like 3-4 times the money every month to raise these kids. But a permanent family, a forever family, goes the extra mile. I can tell you because I have 2 adopted children. It's a heck of a lot more expensive to adopt a child than it is to foster a child. And until they level that playing field, we're still going to have between 500,000 and 1 million children in this country at any given time stuck in the foster care system. That's a recipe for disaster. That's something that most people aren't paying attention. Now, something else has happened since I don't do foster care anymore. Starting in about 12 or 13, there isn't one foster home in Long Prairie, in Todd County. None. 0. Morrison County has less and less than they ever did before, and I don't know how it is anywhere else. I'm just knowing about my area. What they've done, what they did immediately when I didn't do respite care anymore, the 8 or 10 kids that were coming to me every weekend to go to the parks and climb in trees, because I'd let them do that kind of stuff, make forts, I helped to make terrariums, all kinds of fun things. They sent those kids, the biggest majority of them went to Port, here in Brainerd. The juvenile detention facility, they were sending my little boys and girls that I had in respite care to this port up here. It's a travesty what's happening. And I don't know if it's because there are issues with social services and the foster parents, or what. I did hear some horror stories that other foster parents have told me, the bad experiences that they had had. But as a society, this is a big deal. In politics, it's from the grassroots up. Well, it isn't any different when you're raising kids. It's from the grassroots up. We also need to change our laws so that the primary, the person that the child in foster care has the biggest bond with, that's the child, those are the parents or parent that child should end up with. In other words, the bond is the most important thing of all. Not the race, not bloodline. It's who the child has the bond with. Because there's countless studies that show that if you put a child where that's got the biggest bond with that parent, it does the best in life. And there's one other thing, and it'll come to me. I have forgotten.
Yeah, the best thing is probably to try to keep the
Oh.
children with their biological
Yes,
parent,
that's twofold. Okay,
support that.
we need breast milk for all children. Free breast milk from breastfeeding banks. It's critical. It's the best food for children. They have less problems with diabetes and everything else as they go into the world. And if we truly want to have kids raised the best, we need to work harder at working with the single moms that are now encouraged just to give them away to someone else to raise. Why not work harder to have the women in the church and the older women in society like myself that be willing to work on issues with breastfeeding with them, to teach them how to do this stuff? Like the Bible says, put the older women with the younger women. That's the right way to do it. There would be less problems with kids entering the foster care system if those children just stayed with their biological mom. Yes, they're young. Yes, they have no education, but that's where they truly belong. Let's raise those kids up to raise those kids properly. Because we have teenagers, young kids who are getting pregnant. Why not help them to finish growing up, give them a little bit extra help, and keep those kids where they belong with their mom? I'm a total believer in that. Thank you for listening.